Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? So, weird console variants. Now, console variants have been around for a long time. Of course, you got your consoles that released on day one, and then you got consoles that do, brand sponsorships like the Coca-Cola Game Gear, or I don't know, the Tommy Hilfiger Game Boy Color. You have a bunch of different ones like that. And well, I just want to talk about a few console variants that stick out to me. Some of my favorite consoles. Some of these I might want to get one day, but that's probably going to be impossible. But anyway, enough bullshit. Let's just get started. We're going to do this console by console, and like I said, we're just going to do the ones that kind of stick out to me. But either way, enough bullshit. On to the first console. The OG Xbox, one of my favorite systems out there. Gotta be honest, didn't play much back in the day, but I greatly appreciate the console now as an adult. But anyway, this console has a lot of variation, and by brands you wouldn't believe. But speaking of something you won't believe, the Hello Kitty original Xbox. Now these two things don't, I guess, aesthetically fit together. I mean, Hello Kitty, that's more of a girly thing. The original Xbox, that was a very edgy console back in the 2000s. Mountain Dew, hardcore gamer shit. These two things do not collide. But to give this thing a bit of history, this was sort of announced on April Fool's back in, I think, either 2002 or 2003, and nobody thought it was real. I believe this console either came out in Brazil or Japan. I honestly don't remember, but yes, there's a Hello Kitty original Xbox, and it is not cheap. To get this big piece of shit complete in box, it'll be $300 to $500. Yes, ridiculous, but it's a retro gaming market. What do you expect? But either way, on to the next variant. The Mountain Dew OG Xbox. Now, this one also needs a little bit of explaining, but back in the day, if you bought 1,000 cans of Mountain Dew in nerd, I guess, Mountain Dew currency, if you bought 1,000 cans, you could potentially win a Mountain Dew original Xbox for $100. Now, these are semi-rare, and of course, it's not going to be cheap to get one of these today. It'll be $600 to about $900. It all depends on how you get it. But yes, a very weird console. Alright, the blue original Xbox. Now this one also needs a lot of explaining. Now this console came with 2 games and, believe it or not, a cell phone sponsorship. But anyway, it came with Halo 2 and some weird obscure game in Japan. But this console looks good. It pops out. This console just overall looks great. This is a console that I definitely want in my collection, and hey, believe it or not, it's actually reasonably priced. You can get it for $300 to $500 depending on where you get it. But yeah, that's really it for the OG Xbox. On to the next system. The Dreamcast, another one of my favorite consoles. In fact, it was one of the first consoles that I've ever played, but enough about that. The Dreamcast has a lot of variants, but unfortunately though, they only released in Japan. America only got a few. But enough about that, let's just talk about the few that stick out. See, man, it's a weird game and has a weird console variant. Now, like all the others, this one released in Japan, and it was actually a Christmas edition. I don't know what year it was, but still, it looks great. It really does stick out from the other Dreamcast, but believe it or not, there's actually a clear C-Man console that released with the actual game, and both of these consoles alone are at least $1,000, so there's no way you can get one of these today for a good deal. My apologies for that. Alright, Hello Kitty making another appearance, and for some reason these two brands kind of match, Dreamcast and Hello Kitty. For some reason that kind of meshes well. I don't know why, but yes. For some reason, there's Hello Kitty Dreamcast, and believe it or not, these consoles are still relatively cheap, so if you want to, pick them up. But alrighty, that's really it for the Dreamcast. Let's move on to the Game Boy. Now, in this section, I'm going to be including, of course, the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Color. I'm just going to put them all in one section to just keep it simple on the editing side. But the one console that I want to start off with is the Tommy Hilfiger Game Boy. Now, again, similar to the Mountain Dew console, you have to spend a certain amount of money at Tommy Hilfiger, and you could possibly purchase one of these back in the day. And believe it or not, these consoles are still somewhat cheap. They're not super cheap, but you can still get them for a somewhat reasonable price. But either way, they look good. I like to have one of these in my collection. The Target Game Boy Advance. Now this one is kind of weird. Now it's odd seeing the Game Boy Advance in red. Typically I see it in purple and any other basic color, but in red the Game Boy Advance kind of sticks out a little bit. I like it for that reason. But yeah, these are still somewhat cheap. They're not the cheapest, but you can still get them for a reasonable price. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's really all I got to show to you. Like I said, I'm just picking out the consoles that personally, stick out to me. I'm not showing off, the Fantastic series on the N64 or any other basic shit like that. I'm just showing what I kind of like. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to, like, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, no rush, and tell me down below what's your favorite console variant. Tell me down in the comments, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.
They were fake?
Of course they were fake!